Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Hey, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate all of you guys locking in here. Monday night, Broder.
It's Monday.
Big Monday. Victory Monday for the Michigan Wolverines, baby.
I feel like without a Sunday Lions game, I feel like I haven't seen you in 2 days. I mean, it's been since Friday. It feels like it's been a week.
It feels very weird. I was thinking that this weekend. I was like, I had a couple days off. Saturday, Sunday off. I was able to go kind of do whatever I wanted. Felt beautiful. Not gonna lie.
Beautiful day. I know you were in Ann Arbor, and we're going to talk about it.
I have
what a weekend.
Crazy story about Ann Arbor, man. Welcome in, though. We've got a whole crew here today. Not our usual crew. My name's Booner, as always. Matt Broder, Detroit Lions beat reporter on the desk here, as always. Co-host. And we've got Jalen in the TD. Boot. Jalen, fresh off a state championship, too.
Yeah, them A&T boys. The people in the comments didn't believe me.
Let's
I'm
go.
a fine draw, too, man.
Southfield A&T, they look so legit.
First ever, correct?
First ever, yeah.
Huge.
Belleville, I think, like a 38-game win streak.
Yeah, they were like about to break not a record, but they were like moving up the board there. That interception as well, I don't know if anyone saw that. One of the best catches I've ever seen in my life.
That was the coldest interception ever.
Crazy. Yeah, I saw it today. Yep. I saw Stephen A. It was on First Take. It wasn't like Sports Center Top 10. It was on First Take. They did a whole segment on it.
Shannon Sharp, too. They were talking about it,
That's so sick.
Ryan Clark, it was a full segment. It was one of the best catches, I think, of all time in football history. It was crazy.
Richard Harper in the chat says 10 Mile represent.
Yeah, good 10 Mile. Yes, sir.
Let's go. I love seeing it was Isaiah Marshall, the QB Isaiah Marshall. What a tough kid. He took over. He would just run right through he was not even the biggest guy in the world, but at the end of that game, he was just like, I see end zone, I'm headed that way. Dude, nobody is gonna stop me. It was fun.
It was like a Jalen Hurts drive to me.
Yeah.
It was ground and pound, nothing too crazy. Shout out to Tajee Bracewell, to the receiver, too, #1.
Oh, and Zombie Martin.
Yeah.
Is that his name, Zombie? I like that. I thought that's what I heard.
Zombie
D1 championship for Southfield A&T.
Yes,
shout out to them. We've got JB as well.
Surprise!
Hey, what's up, fellas?
JB the legend. What's up, man? How are you doing, JB?
I'm pretty good. A little tired, a little slap happy. So if anything flies, it's not my fault. I'm just tired.
Perfect. The voice of reason is slap happy. That's all we could ask for.
I'm ready for it. We're gonna come. I'm excited to hear what JB has to say.
In
about
the nighttime,
stuff.
Weird things happen.
In the nighttime,
it does.
Yeah. So real quick, shout out Tyler Chauvet and Blake Scarberry. We're in the chat here like 30 minutes early. We were just chatting. Shout out to you guys and everyone else who's joined us. Let's have ourselves a night.
Let's do it. Hit that like button as you guys kind of get in here. Hit that like button for us. We've got a pretty good show, I think. We've got a couple segments here to start us off. Michigan versus Ohio State, 8:15 and 8:30. Break some of that stuff down. College football playoffs. Things are going to mix around a little bit. Michigan dominated. As not a Michigan show because that's E&E. They're kind of the designated Michigan show. Both of us up here are Michigan men.
We are.
So we have to talk about it. We have that at 8:15, 8:30, 8:45. Broder. Dan Campbell spoke to the media, and to be honest,
sassy, I like it.
When he spoke to the media, it reminded me, it was like I was looking in the mirror. What Dan Campbell said to the media is what I sat up here and told people on Friday night that I got people were trying to come at me for. Did you watch it?
I did.
Did it feel like that?
I
It
did.
was like he watched Woodward Nights, and he was like, hey, I agree with these guys.
Yeah, yes.
All right, I just wanted to make sure. And that's at 8:45. 9 o'clock, we're going to dive into Ben Johnson, AG. There's all these talks about him going to Carolina. Literally, before we got on air here, I got a tweet that came through, an alert that was like breaking news. It was like one of these like random profiles on Twitter, like ML Football or something like that, and it was like breaking news. Ben Johnson is now the favorite to land the Carolina Panthers.
He's the favorite for every job.
I was like, why is this breaking news? Like, if you just know football, you know that he's going to be the favorite for any job opening. So we're going to talk about that at 9 o'clock. I'm actually going to just name teams, and I want to go over some teams to see these job openings. Cool. There was a comment made today by Adam Schefter, and I know I've made this comment a couple times, Broder.
Yes.
That was like, I don't think there's going to be that many job openings as there usually are. But Adam Schefter, there's already been 2 that's opened up. He said outside of the 2 that's already been opened up, he said over 7 to 10 jobs will be open at the end of this year. So that's like almost potentially a max of 12 positions in the NFL, which is insane. That's almost half of the league. That's just what he said. He said he would take the over on 7 to 10. So 9:15 Overreaction Monday, some NFL stuff. And 9:30, we're going to actually talk some Red Wings for you guys here, some Detroit Tigers. And we're going to kind of continue that to 9:40 inside the D here with the Pistons as well. And we're going to kind of do that. We're going to roll through it all.
And we may open up the phone lines a little bit later.
Exactly. That would be great.
I know Blake Scarberry wants to get in there. I think Tyler does too.
Especially with this Michigan Ohio State stuff. I would love to
want to air out your grievances or just bloat.
Yeah.
Gloat. Yeah, gloats the belly. Yeah, gloats. Yep.
Couple things though. I want to Detroit Lions news. A few things before we get into Michigan Ohio State. I want to just go over this. First of all, Dan Campbell came out and said Hendon Hooker most likely will be on the squad come this next week. He said, I don't want to lie. He basically was like, hey, I don't want to lie to you guys, so I'm not going to say it's a for sure thing. But I spoke with Brad, and this might be, we're hoping to get him on the roster this week. I feel like that's a step in a positive direction.
Yeah.
You want to see what he looks like on the field.
That allows him to actually get some real coaching with the team, take a snap with the third team, maybe the second team, who knows. It just tells you, all right, he's healthy. We know, and we thought he's been healthy for a little bit, but like he's good, he's ready to go. They're going to decide. It's a roster decision. They got to put him on the active roster. So there's a little tinkering that needs to be done. Who are they going to move off? Who are they going to release? Or move to the practice squad, release one of those guys? We'll see. But it's big time.
They'll never get a good feel about what he can do if they don't.
Right.
Like, you have to eventually. Like, that's a guy you picked him third round. You eventually have to get him on the roster to like get an idea of what he can do. So,
and from some of the people I talked to, some of the other media people, beat writers, this isn't a Jared Goff had 2 bad games, so we're going to activate Hendon Hooker. This is our plan all along. Around week. What week is it? 12 or heading into week
13.
Heading into week 13. Around this time, apparently was the plan all along. Make sure he gets healthy. Figure out the right time to bring him off that list.
That man some reps.
Gain him some reps. Hendon Hooker. It just happens to fall the time after Jared Goff's 2 worst games of the year.
Yeah, no, we're going to talk about that. There were some comments made on that today. I think everything's going to be just fine.
Oh, yeah.
A couple more things before Alex Anzalone. It's been shown he's going to be out for a bit.
Yeah.
Which is like, I didn't realize that until about an hour ago when I started diving into the prep. I saw a couple people tweeting about it, and I saw Alex Anzalone in quotations will miss some time.
Yeah.
So that's just very disappointing.
I didn't even think he was injured so late in the game or in the fourth quarter. To be honest, I kind of forgot about it too, or didn't think it was anything serious. But for it to be a hand or a wrist injury and not be a quick recovery, worry about a broken bone, a torn ligament, something that you hope it's not longer than a week or 2.
And he's been the number one, in my opinion, the number one piece on your defense. He's been the captain. He's been the guy. He's leading the league or the team in tackles.
Maybe most consistent.
I was having a Pro Bowl year, and he was like one of those guys where it's like you can confidently say he's a Pro Bowler right now, and that was a huge loss.
Terry Foster, he's been calling for Anzalone. He made a bold prediction that Anzalone was going to be the Lions' top sack guy for the rest of the season, and whether that would be true or not, he just wanted to see Alex Anzalone in that rush the passer more, try to make something happen on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. So I don't think that's going to happen anymore. The prediction, but it's a bummer. I really hope it's not more than 1 or 2 weeks. I'll find out more on Wednesday when I'm down there.
Let's do this real quick too. I forgot Monday Night Football tonight. It's just weird. The last 7 days has been so weird. Like we're in Monday already, and there's been all these games all the way since Thursday. Chicago Bears are on the road versus the Minnesota Vikings. It's actually a huge game. I hate the Bears with all of my passion. Like the most hated team in the NFL is probably the Chicago Bears. And tonight is a night that I think we can all in this room agree we're rooting for the Chicago Bears.
We're rooting for the Bears.
Need the Vikings to just lose as many games as possible. Let's do this quick. Let's go around the room just who we think is going to win the game so we can kind of know. I have a couple bets I'm going to throw out there for the people if they want to throw it in before. And then we'll go from there. JB. Bears, Vikings. I think the Vikings are 4-point favorite, or
I think it's 3.
3.5.
3.
Okay. Yeah. Who do you have? We just money line. Don't even have to go spread here.
Money line straight up. I know you're gonna hate this, but give me the Bears.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
Yeah, I know, but like I said, this game could go either way. I don't know who I have more confidence in, but Justin Fields just seems unpredictable in this one, so give me the Bears.
I don't hate it. I hope they win this game. Jalen, where you at with it?
I'm taking the -3 and the Bears money line.
Really?
I don't. Justin Fields is going to shock the world tonight. Watch.
Oh, you had me until you said that.
I know. I think the Bears are going to win, though.
All right. I like that. I like the confidence here with the Bears so far.
Let's do it.
Are you
Let's
going
go
Bears?
Bears, yeah.
Okay.
What the hell?
This is what I'm going to do then, because I have to make.
I know what you're about to do. You're going Vikes.
Yeah, I don't know what the records were from the other day. If I gained any spots on you,
I actually haven't calculated them up yet. I'm waiting until after tonight.
All right, I was 2 back. I'm going to do the thing opposite here. I'm going to go the Vikings because I want to catch a game on you. I need to. I do have a couple bets real quick if you guys want to put these in.
Do it.
I do have a Josh Dobbs touchdown. He scored every game since he's been on the Vikings. T.J. Hockenson over 6.5 catches. That's plus 102. Josh Dobbs over 33.5 rushing yards. And DJ Moore over 4.5 receptions. All separate plays, by the way.
Not a parlay.
Not a parlay. All separate. 4 separate
We're
plays.
not getting laid tonight. It's a parlay.
No,
it's not a parlay.
Not getting laid tonight.
Single.
Not a parlay.
We're just going all single. We're singles night.
Yes.
Okay.
Breaking news in the NFL as well, Broder. I almost said Alex Anzalone. Frank Reich.
You might have broke a finger or something.
I've said this name on the show more than I probably should because I don't know how to pronounce it. But Frank Reich, is it? Reich?
Frank Wright.
Reich?
Reich.
Reich. Frank Reich.
Yeah.
Fired. Not just him, though, Broder. Lions legend, Deuce Staley. Fired from the team.
And Josh McCown.
Josh McCown. What are thoughts on this?
Bring him home.
Bring him back?
Bring him. No, I don't know how that's possible.
You
can't just throw him. I love Deuce though, and he moved down there to be closer to a sick family member, and they're gonna do him like that. That's messed up. I actually didn't even realize Deuce got fired. I heard Reich and Josh McCown. I didn't even hear Deuce.
Deuce was a part of it.
Yeah, I can't believe he's the first Staley to get fired this NFL season. It's ridiculous. I say that seriously and partially joking.
Yeah.
How is Brandon Staley not fired before Deuce?
No, I agree. I think it's kind of crazy. I think it's kind of a, what's the saying that people say when you're just in a bad position and it's like a, something of habit. I don't know. But I just think he was just in a bad situation where it seemed like with that owner, like David Tepper or whatever his name is, like it was just never going to work out. And it felt like,
do you think Ben Johnson felt that last summer? Like, something weird's happening here.
Yeah,
bail.
He will not end up in Carolina. I can guarantee you he will not be the head coach of the Carolina Panthers.
If he passed up last year, he's got no reason to go back. They didn't even have their first-round pick.
That owner is such a clown. The fact that has done what he's done since like 2018, since he's taken over, I'm pretty sure he's gone through like, counting interim head coaches, I think he's had I saw a list on ESPN today. There was like 6 or 7. A list is like 6 or 7 head coaches, interim and full time, and he just doesn't like, if he doesn't like what the guy's doing, he's just on to the next. And at that point, you're just like, you're never going to convince a great coach to want to come coach there.
No,
there's
not
no
after
way.
this.
If I was a head coach and I see what's happening there is no way that's a career-ending job. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. And which is too bad because he's only got 10 or 11 games in, and it's a complete rebuild. Like, we're talking number 1 overall quarterback. And don't get me wrong, the Panthers are pretty horrible. Like, Bryce Young looks like a completely different quarterback than he did at Alabama. You don't even recognize him. And I think the emergence of C.J. Stroud probably didn't help this situation, just in terms of optics and the owner.
Frank Reich didn't even want Bryce Young. Him and Josh McCown wanted C.J. Stroud the whole time. It was very well known. I came on this show about a month ago, and he had a press conference in the morning, and he literally sat up there and goes, like, I've been in a lot of different situations, and this is a different situation I have to get used to where the ownership makes the decisions. And he was like, this is a legit press conference a month ago, and he was like, I've never been in, like, the ownership's making all the decisions. I have to get used to that. I see the owner every day. We meet every day. He's the one making the decisions, not me, and I need to get used to that. And right when he had that, you knew that things were not going to work out for him and that owner together. Like, nothing was going to work out, especially with the C.J. Stroud situation, all of that. Nothing was going to work out. I don't see how a guy like Ben Johnson going to get his first head coaching job, to take a step in and go, you know what, I'm going to go do that. A guy like Frank Reich, who has been a head coach before, and he couldn't get it done there, and they, like, Ben Johnson's going to be like, nope, not
And talk about
good.
the situation moving forward, like rebuilding. Yes, you have Bryce Young, who hasn't looked good this year, but you don't have a first-round pick. Like, you put the Panthers up against the Chicago Bears job at the end of the season, assuming it's open. You get 2 first-round, like 2 possibly top 3 picks. You can rebuild this team immediately. He's not going to Carolina.
No, and he's going to have his choice of where he wants to go. That's going to be the thing.
We're talking about him at 9 o'clock.
We are. We're gonna talk about Ben Johnson, AG a little bit too. Adam Schefter had a couple comments in regards to both of those guys and kind of making their moves this summer. So we're gonna talk about that. Let's go to break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about Michigan, Ohio State. They dominated Ohio, and people are like, "Oh, the score, one possession." JB, I see you already looking at me. Dominated.
What? I didn't even say anything.
I know JB comes at me from Michigan sometimes. It feels like. I love you, JB.
Hey, I was rooting for Michigan this past weekend, just to have you know.
All right,
because I don't care for Ohio State.
I finally busted out the red again. I couldn't have this on the desk last year.
JB has hit me with a couple right hooks when it comes to Michigan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Maybe a couple, not right hooks, maybe. He's over there smiling.
Just a couple jabs, he's over there nothing major.
JB can do no wrong in my book.
No, I love JB, man.
We should hire JB as the new head coach at Ohio State.
I do have a story.
I'm not taking that job.
My guy, see?
Shout out JB. I do have a story, too, when we come back.
Can't wait.
I'll start it off with the story from in Ann Arbor. But come over to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dream and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That is right. No expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. That is Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk-in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like a landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equip Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink Live every away game. Actually, it's every home game for the official Lions VIP tailgate party. We will be back when the Broncos come to town. It's going to be in Eastern Market Shed number 5, and it's always a bash. Starts at 9:30, goes up until game time. You can come hang out with Woodward Sports and be treated like a VIP. We got food, we got beverages, and we got entertainment. Just get your ticket at bullseyeeventgroup.com.
And we are back. It is Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in with us on the Woodward Sports Network. Look at that. Is that Connor Stallions over there?
Oh, sorry.
Connor?
Just stealing some signs.
Oh, okay. Hey, we're going to get into this Michigan talk. If you guys haven't yet, hit that like button for us. Let's get the likes up over 50 here before 8:30. But Michigan, Ohio State. Let me start it off with the story
Just
I had.
Get us going, yeah. Let me hear this.
I've met a lot of celebrities, a lot of people in my life. I've been blessed to be able to be around a lot of people. I met the biggest one on Saturday. Didn't really meet him. He was hidden.
Former veteran,
veteran, a Marine. Current veteran, a Marine. I'm gonna tell this story fully here. I go to Ann Arbor, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to these pregame shows, going around with some people. Go to the Barstool show. I go to the back there. I know a couple people there. I'm speaking with, shout out Spider, speaking with Spider. We're having a conversation, and I look over, and to start it off, Broder, I see some parents go into this house there to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, those parents look very, very familiar. And if you guys didn't know, I'm like, who are these people? I've seen them before. I know them. Do I know these parents? I'm like, whose parents are those? And I'm standing a little bit more, having a conversation, and then I look over, and someone has a ski mask on and pulls the ski mask down to take a picture with someone. And it is the one. A foot away from me. The one. The only. Connor Stallions.
Wow.
And I snapped this picture here. The picture went viral. Everyone was tweeting out like, why is Connor in Ann Arbor? That was your own Booner.
Let's go, Boone.
That snapped the picture there. Literally, he had that ski mask down for probably 5 seconds for a picture. Right next to him to the left in that Michigan jacket is Dave Portnoy. And I'm like, oh, I've got to get this picture. I asked my friend Spider, I'm like, hey, dude, am I allowed to take a picture of this? Like, I don't know if they wanted this out or not. And he's like, go ahead. And I took a picture, and we posted it on Woodward, and it blew up.
Go.
And I was like, I should have given that man a hug. Thank you for your service, Connor.
Yeah, bro.
And as soon as it was done, threw the ski mask back on. He was with his family, just walked off and disappeared in the distance.
Did he just secretly, like, unite this team of all this shit that's gone on? Did he just get the boys focused?
I'm telling him that might have been it. This might have been all planned. This is like a Marine, like.
We don't have any inside information. But maybe it was.
Maybe it was.
Maybe it was. Did you talk to him at all?
No, dude, he didn't talk to anyone. He literally walked around. He was with his family. He did something on the stage with them, and it was like something to where Dave Portnoy was talking, and some random person came up and handed him a piece of paper. And he was like, I just got some inside information. And they were all up there like, was that Connor Stallions? As a joke. I don't think anyone in the crowd realized it was actually Connor Stallions.
No way.
Because he had a ski mask on. And then I'm sitting in the back, like we're in like this back little area. And he comes walking by and he pulls his mask down. I'm like, that was Connor Stallions. Like, what a day for Booner there.
Wow.
Like, what a catch for Booner.
Connor
Snapped the picture.
Stalker, says just a fan.
And then he just disappeared. Disappeared into like
that's what he does.
Threw it back on, walked away with his family.
He's elite at what he does.
He is.
He's elite.
It was great though, and then a lot of people in the comments was like, "Was that really him? That's not him." People keep just lying about it. I think a lot of you said you thought it was a joke.
Yeah, like
it was actually him.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? All right, let's get into the game though. I was pumped. I'm not gonna lie.
This game was so necessary after that Lions loss on Thursday. If Michigan State fans after the Michigan State loss on Friday, it was a bad sports weekend in Michigan, except for the Red Wings. But until Saturday afternoon, Saturday at noon, the boys came right from the start. It was a really good game. Yes, Michigan won. We're going to get excited here in a minute, but it was a really good game. I never felt like either team was going to extend their lead, going to blow them out. You wanted Michigan to, or you wanted like big things to happen, and there were big moments. But man, Michigan had the lead 100% of the game. They made all the big plays when they needed it. Sharon Moore, 3 for 3 on fourth downs. Field goal kicker, what's his name? Turner, 3 for 3 on field goals. But the biggest play to me, and I hope I'm not stealing anything from you, that 22-yard touchdown run from Blake Corn after the Zach Zinter injury.
That was huge.
That injury, that's one of those things that could suck the entire energy out of a team, or what Michigan took it as, it united them. Yep. Just the fact that it happened the next play, to me, I don't want to say the game was over at that point, but you knew Michigan was going to take this down to the very last second. And that's what happened. What a game.
To be honest,
the game.
You want to know when I knew the game was over?
What?
Third possession of the game. Ohio State, it was their second possession. As soon as it was 4th and 1 on the 46, and Ryan Day, there was a decision. I think every single person, whether you're an Ohio State fan, Michigan fan, Michigan State, just a random person watching the game, I think everyone was like, this is like, if Ryan Day goes for this, he knows what he is the coach. Like, he is that guy. And he didn't do it. He sent his punt team out there. It wasn't even just like a 4th and 1. It looked like it was super short. It was like
inches.
You probably could have just given it to your running back, or just you could have done the Jalen Hurts, the tush push, and you would have gotten it, even with Kyle McCord. And that was right there. I was watching it on my phone. That was when I was like, this is where it turned. I knew exactly when that was going to happen.
Wow.
And I tweeted it out. It was like, Ryan Day, he's a scared scumbag. And that was exactly what happened. And it felt like that. After that, the Michigan Wolverines, they took the lead in a couple possessions after that, scored a touchdown, got the interception, scored the touchdown, and then that was when the game, they never had the lead the whole game.
Yeah.
Michigan dominated, even when it felt like it was getting close. Like the last drive, I think all of us were, just in any fan or any person out there, you're like, okay, they have Marvin Harrison. This could get ugly. Like, you need to get some stops. But it felt like Michigan had control of that game the whole time. And in the only time where I started to not waver, but I was like, okay, Will Johnson is out, and then they have that final drive to go score a touchdown to win the game. That's when I was like, all right, we need to get a stop here.
There's 1 minute and 8 seconds left or maybe he caught it. It was a kickoff. He caught it with about 1 minute left. It just felt like too much time.
Yep.
Like it was. You have visions of them, Mahomes, Josh Allen playoff game. Just the way some football games we've seen here in Detroit have had finished up in the last this year. You just thought something was going to happen at the end, and this is one of the things why I didn't think Ryan Day coached a horrible game, but there were some questionable decisions. Like it seemed like every time they threw the ball deep, usually to Marvin Harrison, they would complete it, and usually a relatively easy catch, but they stopped throwing it. They never did that consistently. Travion Henderson was running hard, but he never broke free. I think his longest run was 8 yards. The Michigan defensive line, that front seven played great. But you're right, when Will Johnson went off, you're like, man, I hope they don't just feed Harrison, because it's almost a guaranteed 10 yards.
And I think it felt like there was a little bit of like you can trust your defense a ton, whether it's like the Marvin Harrison, because we did talk about it on Friday a little bit when Lucas was here, and I was like, you could probably have a Marvin Harrison just go up and get 60, 70 yards, and you're fine, and score a touchdown, you're fine. He went out there and got 120 basically with the touchdown, 5 catches. Like it felt like they were getting anything with him, but the way that, like you said, those front seven up front, like this defense to me changes the whole thing. Next segment, we're going to talk about the college football playoffs and kind of all of the where
future
Michigan stands.
Yeah.
And it feels like to me that this defense is like, I don't want to say that Georgia 2 years ago because that was one of the best of all time in college football, but it's like that defense you can rely on. And the fact on the other side of the ball you have a JJ who he showed his arm off. All those people who are like he doesn't have that first round talent, he showed his arm off in a big way.
Yeah.
He's done this in different games as well. Like yes, last year versus TCU he had 2 pick sixes, but to get him back in the game, he was slinging the ball. And then obviously the run game. Flannel put the stats out earlier today on the morning show. Shout out JB, the morning show. But Flannel was talking about the last 3 years. If you just look at the rushing yards each game for the both Ohio State, Michigan has dominated every year in the run game. Dominated. And what that does, you get the time of possession and you're just moving the ball up it was like one of those last drives down there.
Yes.
It's a 7-minute drive and you're dominating and no one can stop you.
Yes. And you've got some really good stuff on this rundown, but give me a quick answer, your quick thoughts. What were your thoughts on the referees? Like, do you think it was pretty fair? You can be honest if it was lopsided one way or the other.
I thought it was. I did think it was fair, and they did go review a lot. It felt like, I could be wrong. It felt like it was like they were consistent with the reviews.
Yeah. Yes.
And that was something on the broadcast they kept saying too. Was like even when they kept going to the booth, they were like, well, they've been pretty consistent this today.
Yeah.
So, and that's what it felt like to me.
So that's what I thought too. And I know some of the calls are a hot topic, and not even going to get into each specific one, but I think with how the calls were initially on the field, like that Roman Wilson touchdown.
That was a touchdown. It's ridiculous.
I believe it was a touchdown, but the fact that it was called a touchdown on the field, there wasn't enough to overturn it. You wonder if it was called an interception on the field. I don't know if there'd be enough to overturn it the other way.
But I think like even that, like if you're being realistic, that's like if you watch a real football fan, like that was a touchdown.
True, but you see the point. It's like going off their initial like the on, which is how
they did a great job.
You have to prove that there's enough evidence to prove otherwise. And I think there were 4 or 5 really tight ones that I think they made the right call.
I don't like people in that interception at the end. A lot of people were saying that wasn't. If you act like.
At the very end?
Yeah, go watch some angles. I saw on Twitter a lot of people talking about, like the ball touched the ground, back angles. And it's like, dude, just go watch if you go look at some of the angles, that was a clear, he had his arms underneath. Real quick, I did want to say this as well. I think with this game.
We're being way too nice.
It completely takes away all of the criticism from the sign stealing.
Yes.
Paul Cinnabon, Pete Thamel, Camel, whatever these guys' whatever your guys' names are, completely takes off what you guys have been saying. Like, obviously, you could sit here and say, hey, yeah, they probably did it, but now it proved that every team does it, and it's like, okay, you don't need, like, this isn't an issue now. They didn't have Connor Stallions the last 3 weeks. They didn't have this. Ohio State, it's on them at this point if they didn't change their signs and figure that out.
Yeah.
Like, that's on them. But now I think you can go put it away. I don't know if you see Pete Thamel, what happened on game day.
Yeah, no,
Desmond Howard. I think was it Desmond Howard?
It was Desmond called him out
and was like, why? Because every week he's with the fans. He's in the middle, mixing it up, doing his thing. This week he decided to do it in the stadium by himself with security. And Desmond Howard's like, put your big boy pants on.
Yeah,
couldn't say that. That's a tongue twister there.
Put your big boy pants on. Desmond Howard.
Yeah, shout out to him for doing that as well.
It's
calling
true.
them out, because if you're gonna say all this stuff about teams and fan bases and different things, at least man up and go there and face it.
Oh yeah, I'm looking to see
The Barstool show I was at. Guess what happened? And JB, you know Brandon Walker. And shout out, I did speak with him. I ended the beef. We had a little beef. It was basically a one-sided beef. Ended that beef. He did say he may come on the show as well. So B-Walk may be on the show. But when they did their show, there was beer cans getting through. Because he's known as being a troll towards Michigan and being an Ohio State guy.
Yeah.
Brandon Walker.
Gotcha.
There were full beer cans getting thrown at him. Everything was getting thrown at him. Pete Thamel could have gone out there and manned up and have done something.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Not a single thing written or tweeted about Michigan since the game. So report both sides. That's what our jobs are.
What a loser!
Report both sides. But I have one other thing to say. No, we're good. On the Stein stealing, just real quick. I'm with you. It erases they had some crazy unfair advantage last year. I say that Michigan still has to deal with the NCAA, and if they're found guilty of something, they'll deal with the consequences. But the narrative of they won just because they were stealing signs. See ya. Gone. Cut it.
I think it's done. Yeah, and all these people who are like they shouldn't be able to play in the college football playoffs, out of here. Stephen A. Boom, get out. Let them play.
Heather Dindridge.
They'll out. Last thing here. I know we're a little over here. I apologize. We can.
We'll be quick next
segment will be quick. Ryan Day though, scumbag, loser, cheater, everything you want to say about him, it's all true. I want to know, do you think, and I put it out there, there's a video of him dancing before the game.
That blew up.
And it blew up, yeah, and then I just basically put Ryan Day dancing at his own funeral. I think Ohio State needs to move on. I made a bet with Lucas about a month ago, and we made a bet, and I said, hey, if Ohio State loses and Ryan Day stays, you have to become a Michigan fan. And we shook on it. It was a deal. So that could potentially happen. But I'm surprised. I don't know if they're going to wait until after the bowl game or to see if they get into the playoffs, because next segment we're going to talk about those scenarios. If they don't get in the playoffs, I think instantly you let them go.
Yeah.
And you move on.
It's not going to be this week. They're not going to give – if they were to fire Ryan Day this week, even though we all know it's because he hasn't beaten Michigan in the last 3 times that – they don't want to give Michigan that validation. They don't want to say, hey, you forced us to fire our head coach. They're going to wait till either in between the bowl games, considering just depending on what bowl they get into, or if they miss the college football playoffs, or maybe just after the national championship. But they're not going to give that validation to Michigan that you did this to us.
And they have,
even though they did.
They have better options, in my opinion, than Ryan Day. Brian Hartline, Lucas says it all the time, one of the best recruiters in the whole country.
I would hate it, but they got to go get Urban. There's no reason.
Bring Urban back. You just can't. Like Ryan Day, it's like, okay, it's the same thing to Harbaugh, like year 4 that he was getting. It's like, if you're just not going to win the game, we have to go a different direction. Like, we can't, and that's why his contract got pulled back a little bit, and he took less, because it was like, hey, you're not winning the games we're supposed to be winning. We can win 10, 11 games all you want all year, but if we're not getting to the college football playoffs and winning the game, none of it matters. So. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk college football playoffs a little bit, where the Michigan Wolverines fall, kind of scenarios as well. I wrote some scenarios down. I want to see if Ohio State can get back in. But let me tell you guys about the Lions pregame show, hosted by Jeff Iafrady, with weekly special guests on the Woodward Sports Network from 9:30 to 11:30 on all Lions game days on Sundays. Make sure you guys tune into that for all the injury reports, breakdown, everything you need. Last week was fun. It was me and D-Mac. That was a great time. I enjoyed that. And that was for Thanksgiving as well. So make sure you guys check that out on the Woodward Sports YouTube network. And then head over to Big Boy. It is wintertime in Detroit. It is always better with some comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the new veal parmesan or the new Southern Comfort chicken bowl. And if you want some breakfast, then stuffed potato cakes. Potato pancakes, they are back. The classic lumberjack, Santa Fe Garden, and they also have the new apple pie hotcakes that are too good to miss. Top it all off with the new gingerbread shake for dessert. Make sure you stop over by your local Big Boy today.
Sorry.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand, you offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. It's the same great service that customers have come to know and love on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Also, check them out. Check Les Stanford out in Dearborn today. Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com.
And we're back. Woodward Nights, baby, on the Woodward Sports Networks. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder, that is. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't already. Where we at? 33. Let's get up to 50. The background is beautiful.
Love it.
This is awesome. I love this backdrop that we have, the new one we have. We've got Jalen in the TD booth, as always, and we got JB here today filling in. The Morning Woodward Show legend.
Actually, I'm going to ask you guys for give us a like if you like this picture. Michigan baseball, just a fan pointed out, my former team, they were trolling Ryan Day a little bit. I just took a screenshot and sent it to Jalen. If it's something you're able to put up, that would be awesome. I want to show Booner. You haven't seen it. I don't think, JB, you've seen it. Look at this. It says, great job Saturday by reliever Sharon Moore, who stranded a runner on third base as Michigan beats Ohio State again.
I love this.
Troll job.
Did you see there was a minor league baseball team, I think it was Grand Rapids maybe, and they put out, what did they put? I think they put out that like Ryan Day has an offer for their third base coach.
Oh, I seen it.
Yeah, and they put like a picture out and did like they did like a t-shirt.
Really?
I was gonna say, yeah, they have t-shirts out that saying third base. Like, you know, if you want to be our next third base coach, the option is available.
Let's go.
That is so good. I think the trolls, I think it's well deserved. Because you know what, real quick, before we get into this whole Michigan college football playoff thing, the thing with Ryan Day is
tell him.
He is he is a crybaby. He is a scumbag. Like we all know now. Like they created in 2021. They created a investigation firm called Third Day in 2021 when he kept like
losing his first game.
His first game they lost. They go, okay, we need to figure something out. There's something going on. Let's investigate. Let's make Third Day, which his brother runs, and there's former Ohio State staff members that worked for it. It's just like, and on top of that, if you guys remember the Notre Dame game where he was sitting there and he was like, Lou Holtz, where you at? My team's tough. They're so tough. Like that was one of the worst interviews in all of sports history, going up there. And Lucas said that he, before the interview, looked at someone and goes, watch this, and then does that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's all scripted and fake. Like when you guys see me get up here and yelling, I'm not, this is all mine. This is Booner. You're getting Booner. Ryan Day, it's all just, that man is a tool that makes stuff up and tries to be cool. Yeah. It's like a couple years ago when he goes, what did he say? Something about hanging 100 on Michigan, and then he went out and lost?
Yeah.
Loser, man.
Nice. It's like Happy Gilmore going after Bob Barker just to get attacking the old man.
Loser. All right, we have a couple more minutes to break. We ran behind you on the last one, but we'll go a couple over here, and then we'll catch back up. But this is my thing with the college football playoffs, fellas. I fully agree, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong in here. In the chat, I want to get you guys' opinion. I think Michigan tomorrow, they need to be the #1 team in the college football playoffs ranking.
Yeah, I think because of how close Georgia played,
yes.
it's time to move them up. Or you argue Michigan, of anyone in the top 10, have the two best wins.
Penn State,
actually,
Ohio State.
Washington beat Oregon, but still, they have two top 10 wins. I think that they're the only team in the nation who's done that.
Yeah, I think so, because Ohio State only beat Penn State. Penn State lost to both. Yeah, I mean, Georgia right now, they haven't played any like big teams in the SEC. The biggest team they've played is Ole Miss, who is 10-2. I don't even know where they're ranked right now. Probably outside the top 10. So that's like the only big team they've beat. Tennessee is not a great football. They're decent, but they're not. They wouldn't be at the top of the Big Ten. Like Georgia, yes, they've been good for 2 years. Yes, they're the defending national champions back-to-back. But Michigan has the 2 bigger wins. Michigan, to me, is the best football team in the country right now, based off of, 1, their defense, and 2, they have the offense to complement it. So that's where I'm at. My chair just keeps shrinking. I don't know if anyone sees me just slowly going down.
It must be cold in here.
It just keeps shrinking here. It's crazy. But that's where I'm at with it. I want to see tomorrow. We'll be on the air as well when the college football playoffs ranking come out. But I want to see that. I want to see them be number 1 tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll take it. As long as they move up to number 2. Just move them up. I think they deserved it. And I don't have any problem with how they've ranked them thus far, just with how their schedule's been. But this should validate you just beat the number 2 team in the country. And I think Kyle McCord's really their only, he didn't play well and he's not the best quarterback. But that team is good. Like that Ohio State team, that defensive line, their front 7 impressed me a lot. Michigan really couldn't break much free, even though they did have two TDs over 20 yards. But they impressed me. And that wide receiver group is great. It's literally Kyle McCord made a couple mistakes, and then there was coaching.
I do want to make this very well known as well, and I don't think Michigan fans or people really want to hear this. Ohio State is not out of the college football playoffs.
No, they're not.
There's a scenario. I wrote it down here. If you just look at this, like Michigan's on automatic in. I think they're going to beat Iowa, correct?
Yeah, they should.
They should beat Iowa. So
if they don't, they're out.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Michigan in. The winner of the Pac-12, no matter what, Oregon, Washington. Whoever wins that game,
but not both.
Not both.
Just one.
The winner of that game gets in. Now, this is where things start to get really questionable here, and when you really break it down, this Georgia-Alabama game actually means a lot, I think, for Ohio State. Mm-hmm. Because if Alabama beats Georgia, the SEC gets 2 schools in the college football playoffs.
Georgia and Bama?
Georgia. Both of those teams get in. And then you have the Pac-12 in Michigan. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, what about Florida State? Florida State should not be in the college football playoffs. I get they're undefeated. I'm just going to be the guy to say it. If you don't have your starting quarterback, if you don't have your full roster, like if J.J. McCarthy and Blake Corum, like if you don't have that, your team. Like Michigan last year, it's a little different because they had Donovan Edwards who went and broke. He was great, so that was a little different. But Florida State, their team is Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
So it's hard to be like they almost lost to Florida. Yes, they came back and won, but. So I take Florida State out of this equation, in my opinion. If Texas loses and Georgia wins, Ohio State sneaks back in at number 4.
Because they have 1 loss, and everyone else except for Michigan or possibly Washington only has 1 loss.
And tomorrow will tell you a lot where Ohio State's at, because in the AP poll, Ohio State is above Texas and Alabama, both with 1 loss. So based on the AP poll, with all these 1-loss teams, they think Ohio State is better than Bama and Texas with the 1 loss to Michigan.
I agree.
So that's where it's like, hey,
I was impressed with Ohio State.
They're always a good football team, and if Georgia ends up beating Bama, knocks Bama out, the Pac-12 obviously gets in. Michigan gets in. If Texas loses, and they're already above Ohio State, but I don't think you can leave out a 1-loss conference champion. But if Texas loses,
but Texas really wishes they had Roshan Johnson on their team right now.
Oh yeah. We might see an Ohio State. If things work out that way, you could see an Ohio State Michigan first round matchup in the college.
That would be the most
a 1-4.
You think they wouldn't hold it off for it to be a possible championship game?
Maybe they would. They did that to the SEC a couple years ago.
And they were trying to do that last year.
Yeah, they were.
Oh man, do you think
real
quick?
Ohio State's not out of this picture, man.
Do you think Petitti's gonna give the trophy? Give the Big Ten? If Michigan wins the Big Ten championship, do you think Tony Petitti, commissioner of the Big Ten, will be there to hand Jim Harbaugh the trophy?
He will be. Yes, I think Jim's just gonna turn his head.
Like not even accept it?
Yeah, he should.
Not even just. There's no troll job, no nothing. Just that could be the ultimate.
He
troll
should
job.
just sit up there, not accept it. Just hey, just keep it like I'll stand up there while you talk and you guys do your speeches, but. Like he goes to hand it to him, but hey, we're good. Keep it. Give it to our AD or something. Give it to Ward.
I'd tell Roman to go and accept it or something. Like I'm not going up there shaking that man's hand. No.
He shouldn't even stand next to him. He doesn't deserve to stand next to a man like Jim Harbaugh.
No, real man.
A real man. Tony Petitti. Don't even know what the man looks like.
That's going to be the most anticipated award celebration of all time.
It will be, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that I actually want Michigan to win more because of that than the rest of the season. I don't know. Like they need to win for that reason. I don't know. Let me tell you,
Give me the Wolverines by 22, baby. All right, let me tell you guys real quick. Woodward and Maine, make sure you guys lock in. They will be live tomorrow.
No, Sunday.
Sunday.
We did our Tuesday show yesterday, but we're going again Sunday.
Okay, I was confused. I woke up on Sunday morning to do some social, and I saw some posts coming up, and I'm like, who's going?
The last second decision.
The Woodward Sports Lions Insider Show, hosted by Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Detroit legend Terry Foster. Not Tuesday, but this Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m., and then the following Tuesday from 7 to 8 a.m. For all the insider information you need, make sure you guys tune into that show on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Do it. It's a good one. Then you can go experience Romeo in Dispo. Experience Dispo in Romeo. They're a team that curates an exclusive atmosphere mixed with fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. They have the first ever cannabis mall of its kind, conveniently located off of Van Dyke and 32 Mile Road in Romeo. Dispo Romeo is now open late until midnight every day except Sunday. Can it get any better than that? Nope, it cannot. Dispo Dispensary. DispoShops.com, your local cannabis plug.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Hey, how would you like to win a $100K Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Centron Energy Drink It and Live It sweepstakes. Yeah. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter for your chance to win. Register at drinkcentron.com/Vegas and buy Centron at your local Myers store. It's Centron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself. Once again, that website, drinkcentron.com/Vegas.
And we're back, Woodward Nights, baby, with Booner and Broder. Appreciate all of you guys locking in here. Monday night, I know there's a Monday night football game going on. I just pulled up the stats here, and it's already in the second quarter. Josh Johnson's thrown the ball one time. It looks like they've ran 3 total plays on offense. Is
really?
Anyone, dude, there's literally rushing. 2 rushes in the game and 1 pass attempt. So that's, what, 3 plays?
Yeah, at a certain point, Justin Fields was actually 11 for 11.
How did they get the ball? Someone's got to explain to me how they've had the ball multiple times.
So Minnesota had the ball at one point in time, but Dobbs tried to go deep to Jordan Addison. First play, didn't really work out. And ever since then, he's just been kind of running from his life from this Bears defense. So,
man.
Time of possession, Chicago 14 minutes 46 seconds, Minnesota 2 minutes 13 seconds.
That is crazy. They might win this game. The Bears might get it done for us, baby. Hey, let's get into it. If you guys haven't yet, hit that like button for us. Please, let's get this thing up to 50, maybe even 75 here by the end of this segment. We're going to get into this Lions talk, though. Bears, Vikings are going. NFC North is going. They're battling it out. And this is where the Lions right now, they're in the lead by 2 games at the moment of the NFC North. Dan Campbell, I think the story was coming off Thursday and kind of into Friday when we had our post-game show was, what are the nerves? Like, how do we feel right now? Like, this is a legit team, or is this kind of I don't want to say frauds, because I keep seeing that, and I don't like kind of seeing the term frauds going around with this Lions team. If you're 8-3, it's like, frauds is a tough thing to say. But Dan Campbell kind of came out and perfectly said what we were talking about Friday night on Woodward Nights, to where, hey, listen, these are bumps in the road. Like, you're in the NFL, you're gonna have a bad game. We've seen the Chiefs have it. We've seen we've seen almost every single. The Jags have had it to start the year. The Bengals, look at what they did with Joe Burrow, like, to start the season. Every team has had it so far this year. The 49ers have had a 3-game losing streak. The Eagles, if you guys want to be honest, yes, they're what, 9-1 right now, 10-1. How many close games have they played in that they should have lost? Like, eventually, they're going to lose a couple of games. So this is like, you're in the NFL. Things are going to happen. Dan Campbell came out today, though, had his press conference. If you guys did not see, and he kind of talked about how encouraged he was. He went back and watched the game film. A lot of people, I'm sure when you guys left the game, Broder, that it was kind of like, man, like, that sucked. He went back and watched the game film and said he was very encouraged, actually, about what he said.
Interesting.
He kind of actually liked, he said, in a way, kind of the things he saw, because it was things that you could fix. So, Jalen, if you want to throw that video up of Dan Campbell talking about how encouraged he was actually watching the game film instead of kind of just feeling the game. He went back and watched and saw it.
Oh, listen, if anything, I went back, and after watching it, I'm actually more encouraged. Because to me, it's not what it appears to be. You know, we just on the basic level of this, it's turnover ratio. It's turnover. And we're turning the ball over too much offensively. Special teams, we had one against Chicago. Giving up 4 against Chicago, 3 against Green Bay, and only gotten 1 back. That's the major issue right now.
That's a Booner special right there.
That's
the turnover ratio.
That's what I've been talking about.
And that is the main difference in these last 2 games. And turnovers are something you can clean up. You can get better. I do believe there are some other things. And he was talking at its most basic level, the turnover ratio is it, which I agree with.
Yeah.
They got some other things to work on, like the defensive line, a little secondary help, but you're in linebackers now. But you're right. These are things with a long week now. This is where the coaching is so important. Is Dan Campbell going to have these boys ready to go in New Orleans? I think especially because it's New Orleans, he is going to. He takes this game extra serious.
Yeah, and too, like, with the turnover stuff, it's not just that. Like, he even mentioned, like, yes, there's other things we need to work on. Like you said, Broder, like, he mentioned that in the press conference that, hey, there's a handful of things that we need to address. We do know that. But all of these things we need to address. This is where I get frustrated, like last week after Thursday. A lot of people going at the Lions saying, hey, this is done, season's over. They're just going to maybe get a playoff win and the season's over. This is the thing with it, is that we've seen this Detroit Lions team in the last 365 days, ended the season 8-2 last year. They started this season 8-2. They have proven, like, and that's where people are like, oh, well, they get lucky. Oh, it's the schedule. You went on a 20-game stretch of going 16-4. That is a huge sample size in the NFL, 20 games. That's over a season of football, to where you went out there and played great football and won almost every game.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, okay, if you guys want to sit here and say, hey, they can only win a playoff game with what they have, no. But if they're playing at their peak, and Dan, out of all people, has them ready to go, and he knows, like, he goes back and watches the film, he goes, I know exactly what we need to fix, turnovers, and there's a few other things we need to clean up. And I said it Friday, Broder, he's shown it time and time again that when things get bad, he knows how to kind of turn it around. Whether it was last year starting 1-6, he addressed a few things, turned it around. Year 1, when they started, what did they start year 1? Like 0-9? What was it?
Was it 1-10, 1-11?
It was insane.
Yeah, it was
Guess
bad.
what? He went out there, addressed the offense coordinator, promoted Ben Johnson. Things turned around, and they went and won a few games. And he did it last year, and now you're going to see him do it. And in my opinion, you're going to see him address it again. You've had a bad 3-game stretch. The only difference from the 3-game stretch right now, or 4-game stretch now, to last year was you went 3-1 in the bad stretch instead of going 1-6.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with it. And Dan spoke about it. I trust him to be able to do it. He also even mentioned a little bit after that, someone asked him about Goff's turnovers. Like, he was like, you understand your quarterback has 6 turnovers, right? And he goes, yeah, I've spoken with Goff. Goff knows he needs to tuck the ball away. Like, he's these are pros in here. Another video too that I wanted to play, the other Dan Campbell video I clipped here. He basically talked about the exact thing that we've been, like, this whole thing about starting 1-6 and turning things around, and he basically came out and said, listen, I'm not worried at all. And this is why I love Dan Campbell, Broder, is when things are down, that man lives for those times. He lives.
And I love that, man, it's doom and gloom outside our building, and we got 6 to go. We got an unbelievable opportunity, and I love it. I really do, man. So this is what we find out what we're made of.
I just hope he enjoys it at the top. Like, when they do start playing well, I hope he loves that as much. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't just like it, like the dirt, which I do appreciate. I'm with you. And what gives me optimism of this team that didn't go out and get a major free agent or a major piece at the trade deadline, if there's any sort of positive way to look at it, They knew coming into the season, this team's built on development. Like, they got a lot of young guys. They got coaches all over the place that played in the NFL. Their job is to develop these players. So going through his tough stretch like this, Dan Campbell's history of making it through those stretches, not making – well, there have been some major changes, but basically sticking to his philosophy and not making sure that his message doesn't change throughout the turbulent times, I think is so huge. So it really – the players got to step up for sure, but I'm putting a little bit of pressure on the entire coaching staff. Not like your seat is hot pressure, but Art, it's time. You got to figure out a way to get these defensive linemen develop. Like, Benito Jones has to play better. He's played better than I think a lot of people expected this year. But guys like him and Bugs and Broderick Martin, they got to play better. You got to find a way to get something out of Charles Harris. You got to find a way to get this rush. Now without Anzalone, who's going to be the leader of that defense? It's not going to be Jack Campbell yet. I'm fairly certain that's the case. Derek, even though he could be the future, I just don't think he's ready yet. So who's going to lead that defense?
Yeah.
That's what worries me a little bit right now.
Another quote I took out of this, too, Dan Campbell said this. He said, you hit adversity, and it either makes you better as a team or you crack under it. And I think that's a perfect example of this team. Is like last year, they hit adversity 7 games in. Either crack or you come back at it and you go at full speed and kind of full steam ahead. That's what it feels like every time things get bad. They do is they start to get at their best. I just keep going back. Like, I just want people to understand, like, anyone who thinks the season's over, or they might not be able to do what they could do. Like, even Friday, there was people. I mean, I'm pretty sure Easy even said, like, maybe he was nervous that they might not even win the NFC North, which is like, that's just crazy to me, because has he showed us, or any of you guys, has he shown you when things get bad that he can't flip it around? Has he?
Yes. Oh, he
cannot flip it around.
No, he hasn't. He is
not. He's been in so many tough positions, and that's why he's been so different from SOL in the old culture. Is that he's been able to prove that when things do get bad, it's not SOL. And I think today this press conference gave me a lot of hope going forward to where I think they're going to be ready for New Orleans. I think even going after that for the Bears again, they're going to go dominate the Bears. I feel like the Vikings, better. The Cowboys. They're going to. I just feel like this is one of those things where they're going to go on this streak that they've done in the past, and they're just going to keep dominating and dominating Broder. Now there are injuries like Jonah Jackson. That's a big one. Have to get him back. Alex Anzalone.
Huge.
Hopefully you can win a couple games so then you can get him back for this playoff run. That's kind of how I look at this, and same with Jonah Jackson. I think it's, Derek Barnes, time to step up. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
It's time. Derek Barnes, you ready to roll?
Yeah. Jack Campbell.
Rodrigo, ready to roll?
Yeah. We might see him on defense a little bit more.
So that's where I'm at with it. I think that's the linebacker core. That's where you have that depth that you already have. I do think, too, I'm not going to lie here, I think there's a chance that Brad Holmes makes a move here. There's a couple guys. There's been some guys getting cut. I don't have the full list here, but like Marcus Peters got cut. Corner is a piece that the Lions need, and it's very evident, like obvious. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a chance he can get him on waivers, that you see him get him on waivers. I don't think he might not slip to the Lions. I don't know what the waiver order is right now in the NFL, but
did you name someone? Did you name
Marcus Peters?
Oh, Marcus Peters.
I just like
from Las Vegas.
Yes, he got cut today.
I didn't know that.
Yes, so he got released. He got cut earlier. He's getting waivers right now. I don't know like what the waiver order is, but if it gets to Detroit and he falls to Detroit, I would not Brad Holmes will pick him up.
But is he a Brad Holmes guy? Will he mess up the vibes that Detroit has right now?
He's very good friends with Jared Goff. They play together in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
And their boy, Jared Goff, talked about him a couple weeks ago before they played Las Vegas.
And he had the pick 6.
Yeah.
It's a good energy guy.
What is it?
He's a very good energy guy. A little controversial, but like, I mean, let's be honest.
Okay.
Like, he's produced some good years.
I mean, even in Vegas, like, it's hard the last 2 or 3 years to not be controversial in Vegas with everything going on. So I don't blame him at all, but. You need to address that corner spot. There's some DNs. I'm pretty sure there's a DN or 2 that got cut as well today and released. I can't remember who it was. If someone in the chat knows, I just think Brad makes a move. I think it's going to surprise a few people. I do think he understands though that he wasn't able to get the job done in the trade deadline. So he's going to kind of be ready if someone does get cut.
I love it. I think adding depth to the cornerback room is important. I would love Marcus Peters on this team tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
that would be great.
I don't know what his contract. I don't think he's. If I remember correctly, he doesn't have a crazy contract, which means it might be a waiver pickup. You don't have to wait till he makes it through and then try to convince him.
Steve Lehman in the chat said, get Peter, Sue, and Leonard. We need them all. Yeah, go. Brad, let's go, man.
Yeah.
You saw the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Dick Barnett.
The Lions need some moves, but they can still compete. You just need a couple guys. You're right there. Let's go to break. Come back. Ben Johnson, AG, Adam Schefter had a couple comments on them. So we'll hit that. We'll break that down. I want to go over some of these teams that might not have a head coach next year.
Okay.
I want to break
like
these
this
down
speculation.
Here. All right, Hamlin Pub, baby. Let's go. Have you ever wanted a bar where you are a regular? We have just a place for you. Head over to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where everyone is a regular. Whether you're enjoying half-off pizza on Thursday or game day specials available during all Michigan sports and NFL games, Hamlin Pub is the place to be. Visit the location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Do you have football on the brain? Well, this fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year is already awesome. Fall is also the perfect time to shop your home insurance, auto insurance, and eat some cheese. So shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. So ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or call 248-800-4177.
All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Hey.
Appreciate all of you guys locking in on the Woodward Sports Network. If you guys haven't yet, hit the like button for us. Make sure you guys smash that. Let's go up to 75 here heading into the second hour of the show. A little breaking news here real quick. Just got a message. We got a text message from Neil Rule. The Oakland Grizzlies beat Xavier tonight.
Oh, my schools are on fire this week, dude.
Xavier tonight.
That's a big upset, right?
It's huge. They probably got paid a ton of money to go play Xavier, and they just beat them on the road. So that's huge. I think
like
Oakland,
100K.
they might make some noise in the Horizon League this year.
Let's go, Golden Grizzlies.
Good. They've had some good games. I think they might make some noise.
Golden Grizzlies.
Huge game for them. All right, Ben Johnson, fellas.
BJ.
Let's talk. Come on, man. I purposely don't put that in the prep.
What's wrong with
initials,
BJ?
you pervert.
Whoa.
What's wrong with BJ?
Come on, boys.
What?
Ben Johnson. Let's talk about
Yeah,
it.
Ben
What
Johnson.
are we talking about?
Trying to save
Johnson
time
and
here.
AG.
Yeah, BJ and AG.
I always purposely don't put his initials in there because of that.
I know, it's dirty.
But
I just hope it's a happy ending.
okay, Adam Schefter. Let's get to it. Adam Schefter. He talked about it today on the Pat McAfee show in regards to kind of this Carolina Panthers opening. Lions fans aren't going to like to hear this, but sounds like, and I think we already knew Ben Johnson's probably the favorite, the biggest head coaching prospect in the NFL going into next season. Here's a quote here, Jalen. If you want to throw up that quote there from Adam Schefter. He talked about it today in regards to Ben Johnson. Not only Ben Johnson, also Aaron Glenn. And he threw that up there. So you just throw it up whenever. I'll read this to you guys. So he said Ben Johnson and Brian Johnson will be at the top of a lot of teams' list for head coaching jobs. I could see that Aaron Glenn and Dan Quinn getting a lot of interviews as well.
Hell yeah.
Broder?
Yes.
Thoughts?
Thoughts are good for him. He deserves it. Thoughts part 2 are, damn, we're about to lose Ben Johnson. But no, he's going to be a head coach. And there still is the possibility that they can convince him to come back for one more year. There's a weird culture vibe. Everything is coming together in Detroit. It's not out of this world. It's not out of question.
Yeah.
But he's going to have options, and I do think Ben Johnson goes. It's his goal to be a head coach, so at some point, whether it's this year or the next year, he will be going. The question is where. And with Ben Johnson being the top guy, being the one that everyone's going to be going after, he'll have his choice. He'll have his choice of where to go. So he's going to be looking at what situation fits best for him. Now we're talking, what's the team look like now? What's their draft capital look like? Their salary cap position. The biggest key for Ben Johnson, though, is quarterback.
I think that's it as well. I think it's quarterback, ownership, and GM.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a mix of everything. And I think, like you said, he's going to have Ben Johnson's going to go wherever he wants to go. Adam Schefter said it, and I've been saying it for months. I was like, I don't think there's going to be that many openings just based on what I've looked at. But Schefter said today, he was like, I think there's going to be over 7 to 10 openings in the NFL. And usually, like, I think last year it might have been 7. And I think now there's already been 2 coaches let go.
And I'm going to be honest, and I'll send it right back to you. I was thinking about this not in terms of job openings, but in terms of the future of coaches. When I was watching Antonio Pierce in his post-game press conference yesterday, the interim head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, he reminded me of first-year Ben Johnson, just in terms of the energy that he has. He wasn't as, crisp in his responses. He was just talking from the heart, talking from what he sees out there. I wonder if this new wave of player coaches of Dan Campbell having success, and really, let's call it what it is, 2.5 years, 2 years, that's a pretty quick turnaround for the Detroit Lions. So this success, you wonder if our owner's going to start getting more and more trigger happy.
Well, I think there's a thing behind that to where it's some of these owners now want newer coaches that are former players, and they have that energy. Like they want their coaches to be able to relate. You're seeing, even like a Ben Johnson, not really a former player, but he's got that energy. He's kind of in that new, like kind of a Sean McVay style to where he, that offense is Kyle Shanahan, and that's where I think it's either you go the Dan Campbell route or you go the Ben Johnson,
Genius.
Kyle Shanahan, smart Mike McDaniel type of route. And I think in between there, you have all these old coaches who are kind of old school, outside of maybe like an Andy Reid, who are they're old school. Like you see Bill Belichick right now, he's struggling.
Yeah, and Andy Reid's old school, but he's innovative, and he's with the new times, the new offenses.
And he has Patrick Mahomes.
True, but we saw on I think it was a quarterback show how they let him design all these plays. Like he lets them have fun and do their thing.
He's a great offensive mind.
Yes,
and Bill Belichick, as well as he's been, it's like now you're kind of seeing things catch up to where it's like maybe this isn't. And a lot of teams are going away from that. I wanted to go through the coaches out here, Broder. I'm gonna name some coaches. I have a list. I'm gonna go down here. But he said there's going to be 7 to 10 job openings. I'm interested to see what those are.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see where Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn have a chance of going. And if you guys want to start dropping in the chat kind of where you think both Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn end up, I'm interested to see where people think. Because my first initial thoughts, I'll throw this one out there. Ben Johnson, I said it months ago, I think he ends up in Buffalo.
Interesting.
And that's I think his best spot for him. You have the quarterback, the GM, ownership, like they're just missing that one piece, and it's kind of that offensive mind, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
A guy like Ben Johnson.
That's an option.
So let's go down the list here, and as people start throwing it in there, I'll go back and forth here from my list to the chat, and we'll see what people have. But let's start it off here. We'll just go alphabetical order. Arizona Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon. I think he stays. Correct. 2-10 right now.
Yeah, and I don't think Ben Johnson would take that job either. Just the organization, they're a little behind the times too.
Okay, so that doesn't count.
But I forget how long Kyler Murray's on the books, or
I just think that they keep Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah, they're going to give him another year.
I don't think they move on from him right away.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith, they already announced that he's going to be around another year.
Yeah, if he wasn't 100%, Atlanta should be one of those options.
Ravens, no. I think the Bills. I'm gonna write some of these down here.
Where'd you get the Ravens from?
I'm just going in alphabetical order here.
Oh, just any team?
Yeah, I have a list of the teams here, coaches.
Oh, gotcha.
I just want to make sure we don't miss anyone because he said 7 to 10 job openings.
Okay.
So I'm like, I want to break this down as a family here, and I want to just all look at this together and say these are the 7 coaches that are gone. Where does AG and Ben Johnson end up if they end up somewhere?
No
so
Ravens.
Bills, I put down right away.
Yeah.
Sean McDermott. Yes, he has a great record. The struggle right now is concerning.
Yeah.
Carolina, obviously, that's an opening there.
Yeah, I'm going to say no. I mean, will be an opening, but he's not going there.
Chicago Bears, opening.
Opening and will likely be at the top of his list.
If
I were him, that would be 1 or 2 on my list.
Yep.
As someone who covers the Detroit Lions, someone who lives in Detroit, I don't want it to be 1 or 2 on his list. But they got the 2 top. They have either Justin Fields to stick with, Tyson Bagent, or they got the two of the top 3 or 4 picks in the draft. They're gonna have he's gonna have his choice of which quarterback he wants, possibly paired with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Here we go. Browns, no. Bengals, no.
No.
Cowboys, I think Mike McCarthy's earned his spot for another year.
He probably did.
Yeah, Broncos, I think Sean will get another one. Lions, obviously, no. Packers, I think Matt LaFleur will be in there around another year. D'Amico Ryans, great. Shane Steichen, I think he gets another year. They're 6-5. Doug Peterson, good. Andy Reid, good. This one, I'm going to write this one down. Raiders, that will be open.
Yes.
Raiders will be open. I think they should go Antonio Pierce, personally.
Yeah.
But I don't think they will.
No.
Chargers.
That'll be an option.
Is gone. We know that's going to happen.
That'll be an option. I hope he doesn't go there, but that's got one of the big things. It's got quarterback and an elite quarterback at that.
Yeah.
But that, to be honest, that's really it. There are other players, but they don't have a lot of money. The offensive line isn't great. Rashawn Slater's great, but everyone else, they're getting older.
The defense, they paid all the defensive guys. It's like
that's all quarterback.
Kind of like the Bears have done.
Yeah,
a little bit. Rams, Sean, I think will stay unless he wants out personally. Mike McDaniel's good. Kevin O'Connell, I think, is locked. I'm writing this one down. The New England Patriots.
Yeah,
that will be open by the end of the season. At the end of the season,
if it's open, for him to take over. I mean, that almost seems like a perfect shift in old school to new school, but the same kind of sneaky genius type of person.
Yep.
Interesting.
I'm gonna write. I wrote this down as well. The New Orleans Saints. I think Dennis Allen might be out.
How long has he been a coach there?
I think this is his 2nd or 3rd year. He's 12-16 overall, I believe, as a coach in New Orleans.
I know the connection, the Dan Campbell connection, and play there's an organizational connection, but
I don't know
if
him
there's
sticking
a quarterback.
Around. There's been some situation.
Dennis Allen, yeah,
feels like
Ben Johnson. They should want him. I don't know if that's. I don't know. They got a good defense and they got some wide Olave. I don't know. Interesting.
What about this? The New York Giants or Jets? Do one of them lose their coach this year?
That's tricky because I think both of them. I don't think they do. I think the Giants commit to Dable at least another year because of how he turned it around. I don't blame Dable for any of this. Like this is, you gave your money to Danny Dimes and it just hasn't worked out. Like they've all been injured. I don't know, but
I don't know. Yeah,
tricky. I'd rather go to the New York
Any
Jets.
of the New York coaches, Dable or Saleh, are they either one gone?
Giants, yes. Jets depends on if Aaron Rodgers comes back at the end of the season. If he can save Robert Saleh's job.
I don't hate that. Jalen,
I think the Jets are gonna be like 6-6 or something like that. A-Rod comes back, make a playoff run, that solidifies his job.
This year?
Yes, because his job, if he doesn't get hurt, Robert's not even in the hot seat or even close to it, I'm assuming. From what we know from A-Rod. So I think if he comes back, and even if he doesn't come back, if A-Rod doesn't retire, he's going to stay.
And if he doesn't retire, Hackett's going to stay their offensive coordinator.
100%.
As bad as he is, I think he might be the worst out. He might have been worse than Ken Dorsey this season, but he's Aaron Rodgers' boy. What?
Go Hurricanes.
Carolina?
Come on, Miami. Come on, Ken Dorsey.
He's at home. I don't know why he went to Carolina Hurricanes. I got hockey on my mind.
Yeah, me too. I thought the same thing.
Yeah. Sorry.
The U, though. The U.
Who we got left?
A couple. I skipped over 49ers, Steelers, Seahawks, Bucks. Todd Bowles. I don't know. Maybe he's out. Maybe that's another one that Shefty was like. That might be one. I'm gonna write that down.
Interesting.
Titans, Mike Vrabel, possibly as well. That's a question mark. Vrabes, maybe he's on his way out. I don't know. And then the last one I did have here, the Washington Commanders. Obviously, I think it was already announced that Ron Rivera most likely will not be the head coach next season.
If they don't give it to Bieniemy, that is actually a really good situation. New ownership, new everything. Sam Howell, I love. Weapons everywhere.
When that got announced, the tweets that I saw was basically underneath, but said everyone that tweeted it out said this is probably one of the most wanted positions. With what's going on right now in Washington.
A year ago, it would have been one of the least wanted. With their old owner.
So with that, I have. If I'm counting Tampa Bay and I'm counting Vrabel, just in case, who knows what happens with Vrabes, there's 11 teams on the list there.
Wow.
And even the Saints, say they move on from Dennis Allen. AG, former Saint. He was over there. That's an AG situation. I think there's some of these teams who are defensive teams, like the Titans, an AG situation. Even
Jets. Even the Jets.
A Patriots.
He played for the Jets, right?
There are some spots. I know we talked about a lot of these teams wanting to kind of move to that new age football, but
you said Mike Vrabel. You know where he should go?
Patriots. No?
One more guess. Anybody?
Hold
on. You said Mike Vrabel?
Yeah.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Easy.
Dude.
Oh, Ohio State. Oh, wow.
That would not be good for Michigan. That'd be probably the second,
there?
after Urban Meyer, that'd be the number 2 coach that I would not. I should go to Ohio State. I would not want him to as a Michigan fan.
I'm pretty sure, though, he has mentioned that he does not want to coach college.
He doesn't seem like a kid.
He was on Bustin' with the Boys. I watched it, and I think they asked him, and he was like, yeah, I don't think I want to do all that.
Good intel. Some people... I don't blame it. It's a totally different game recruiting. It's
You're doing the
Vrabel's
GM.
a dude's dude, so he probably just wants to hang out.
In the NFL. Sure. Yeah. Now, have you ever watched any interviews with him and stuff?
I love it.
I would love to sit down and have it. He's like a Dan Campbell. I would love to drink a beer with him.
Defensive minded Dan Campbell.
Hey. Shout out. All right, let's go to break. When we come back, we're going to do this around the NFL. Overreaction Monday, baby. We've each brought a couple overreactions. We'll talk about that, whether it's Lions, NFL. Make sure you guys stick around for that. But let me tell you guys about the Woodward Sports Lions post-game show, baby. That is Maz and Stick. They host that show there. Make sure you guys tune in directly after every single Detroit Lions game. Whether you guys we're sipping the Kool-Aid, which we usually are, or we're talking about last week's loss, whatever it is. Make sure you guys tune in. It is one of the great. They take phone calls. Some of those phone calls, some of the best.
Oh, epic.
I love those phone calls, man, the post-game ones. Make sure you guys tune in, though, on the Woodward Sports Network and the Woodward Sports YouTube page. But Planet Fitness, baby. It is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you will experience squeaky clean gyms that has tons of equipment, full-body workouts in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of that for just $10 a month, no commitment. They have hundreds of Planet Fitnesses around the Metro Detroit area and thousands worldwide. Make sure you guys go check them out where your fitness is essential.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
When it comes to your pet, don't settle. Give your pet the best, and that means going to Premier Pet Supply because they're hands down Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. They got 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food, lowest prices, and curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. Head to www.premierpetsupply.com. Yeah.
And welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate all of you guys locking in with us here. I did see in the chat, if you guys haven't yet, please hit that like button for us. Let's get over 75 likes here in the next couple segments. Blake Scarberry, appreciate you tuning into the show. We appreciate everyone, whether you're getting disrespectful or not. But Blake, we are not opening the phone lines today. Actually, my earpiece here, not an excuse at all. But it is going in and out, so I just can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Like the music that's playing right now, I heard it for about 2 seconds, and it's gone out of my ear right now.
It's hot. JB's on his game.
It's something with the end here, but we will probably open lines up tomorrow if it is ready to go and the earpiece and everything's working. I just don't want to have people call in and then I can only hear half of them.
Yeah.
Half of the conversation.
You don't want to just talk to me.
It would be bad for the show and everything. But shout out to Blake for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you, dude.
We appreciate you. And he said Woodward Sports is soft like Charmin.
He said that?
I wet my butt with Charmin. Charmin's great. Charmin might be the best toilet paper on the market. Am I wrong, boys?
Oh, no, yeah. Charmin.
Jalen said I might not like Charmin.
I didn't realize that's what he said to us.
He's kind of going in here. He's gone. Jalen took him off. Timeout, 300 seconds. A little disrespectful. All right, let's get into it. Overreaction Monday. As always, we're going to get into this here. Bro, I'll start with you. You can go NFL, Lions, whatever you want to do.
Lions.
I have a couple, though, but I will let you go first.
I'm going to start with Lions. This is a little future. We're looking. I put my binoculars away. Future. James Houston is the most valuable Lion nearing his return to the field. Overreaction or underreaction? Now that Alex Anzalone, put Anzalone and Jonah Jackson on that list.
I'm going to go underreaction.
Okay.
I think it's C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I think it is C.D. Deuce. He's kind of, to me, yes, James Houston is valuable because of that defense. I think it's like his position's more valuable.
Right now, this is why I was thinking about this question. Now, his skill set is probably needed most, but some of the things that C.J. Gardner-Johnson and C.D. Deuce brings to the team that don't show up on a stat sheet. Well, some will, don't get me wrong, but the fact that we just need pressure, we need sacks, it makes me sort of lean to James Houston, but I probably would go with C.D. Deuce.
That was my first initial thought. When you said that, I was like, I love James Houston. He's going to be a huge piece when he comes back. But if C.D. Deuce comes back within the next 4 weeks and he ends up playing for the playoffs or the last game to maybe clinch or play the Cowboys, that's a huge piece.
Yeah.
That's not just like that's as a leader.
Yeah. 100p.
That's what I'm rolling with.
What about this? Could the Lions end up with the worst defense in the NFC North by the end of the season?
Wow.
Vikings are right now 12. I believe, when did I get this? PFF. But they were all pretty similar. Vikings were 12, Packers 14, Lions were 15, Bears were 29th. So they were way down there. Basically, the Lions are trending in the wrong direction. Do you think they have what it takes to either stay middle of the pack, which might be okay?
Where are they at right now?
15.
They're 15.
Just put me right in the middle. Bears are at the bottom, and Packers and Vikings are just a little in front of them.
I'm gonna go there. They stay right in the middle.
Okay.
They're gonna be a top 15. Maybe they'll move up to like 13, 12. I think they're gonna do that. I saw Schiff got in here. I think he's talking about the Monday Night Football game. This must be a bad game, boys. I haven't been able to watch it.
I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah,
this is the NFC North for you. This is tough.
Defense, baby.
And Schiff got said, wait till next Monday night. That game's gonna be a blowout. I wonder who that is.
Next Monday night. I don't know.
I could tell you guys real quick. Can I give a couple here real quick?
Oh yeah.
First one I have here with this Alex Anzalone injury. How long do you think he'll be out? What do you think? Can you give me a couple games, maybe like 2 or 3?
His answer was so quick. Like he could be out a bit.
No IR, so not 4.
We got New Orleans, and then we got Chicago outside. Maybe he comes back that third game. Was that the first or the Denver game?
Oh, I might change mine.
I don't know. I got to find out what exactly is wrong with his wrist or his hand, which we don't know yet.
I want to say this then.
What?
Jack Campbell.
Will
reach Alex Anzalone. If he's out for more than 3 games, I think he's gonna. Right now, the gap for total tackles is 87 to 51. I think Jack Campbell these next 3 weeks, if Alex Anzalone's out, Jack Campbell starts to take over a bigger role. And I know you said maybe not that leadership role. What was Jack Campbell doing in the preseason? Do you remember? What did he have on his helmet?
He had the green dot.
He had the green dot.
Yeah.
And I think there's something, maybe Derek Barnes, maybe, but I think there's something to say about that happening. And if you look at his production the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's starting to get a lot more snaps, and he's starting to get a lot more trust. I know there was the game, the Chicago game, he missed a ton of tackles.
Yeah.
But I think like last week you saw he didn't miss those tackles, and he had a great game. And I think that's what you're going to start seeing. Now he's going to have a bigger role. They're going to expect him to step up a little. I know Rodrigo will come in, maybe take his spot, and Jack will move up a little. I just think Jack, what is he, 36 away from Alex Anzalone right now? I think the next 3 or 4 games he ends up getting about, and maybe not 12 a game, but he'll get like, he's already had games where he's had 9 tackles.
Well, that's what he'll need too.
So I think he comes close to it. So I think maybe he's getting about 8 to 10 tackles a game the next 3 weeks. He comes very close to that and potentially passes him up.
It's going to be
overreaction.
No.
All right,
no, because I think they're going to put him out. This could end up being a blessing in disguise. At least I hope so. I'd expect some mistakes out of Jack Campbell, but maybe just now he's got to be thrown into the fire. He's got to be one of the top 2 linebackers on the team. So he's going to get his reps are going to go up.
Yeah.
So whether that leads to more tackles or not, I think this is going to be good for his development, for his maturity. If he can just that much more situations coming at him.
Yeah.
Jack Campbell was actually one of my next questions. I don't know if I phrased it right, but I don't know. This might actually just be an easy answer. The best rookie linebacker in the NFC North is not on the Lions. He's actually on the Vikings.
Ooh.
Ivan Pace, undrafted. He's a stud.
What has he been doing?
He's their best linebacker, basically. Okay, so maybe I didn't phrase that overreaction, underreaction well enough, but basically it was a point to and we're talking about in the chat, the 18th pick, there's now a guy undrafted out of Cincinnati, Ivan Pace, who is he's higher on the rookie defensive player of the year charts than Jack Campbell, I'm sure. He's a beast. So I just what does that mean to you? What does that tell you? Is that good? I know we just need to be patient with Jack, but now's the time we actually need him to step up.
Yeah, and you know what I think it is? I think he will. Because if you do look at these stats, and I don't want to become a stat guy, but right now Jack Campbell does have more tackles than him. I believe he has more sacks than him. His stats are better, and Jack didn't really start the year playing a ton. He kind of, remember when James Houston was in? Jack didn't really start getting into the game more until James Houston went down and he got into that Sam spot and started playing more football. Yeah. And that was when Jack started kind of getting his reps. And I think as we see Jack start to grow, and now with Anzalone out, I think that's where you're going to start seeing him really kind of
good point
blossom a little bit here and end up playing really good football. And he's going to this is why you took him in the first round.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I look at Jack. I don't think it's a good thing Alex Anzalone is out,
right?
But I still do believe that it's a kind of maybe a little blessing in disguise that Jack Campbell's going to get some more reps and kind of develop a little bit more.
Good. What you got?
Another one here. I'm going to go NFL.
Do it.
Turn to the NFL.
Turn it.
I'm going to go to my second team.
The
Buffalo Bills.
Ugh.
The Buffalo Bills still make the playoffs.
Ooh.
Am I out of that? Is that overreaction, fellas?
What do you guys think?
They're 6-6 right now.
I'm going to say no.
They're sitting in. They're far back. They're back a little bit. 10th in the AFC.
They'll go.
You think they're going to make it?
They make it?
They're 10th right now?
It'd be nasty though. But someone's going to start choking. Pause.
So ahead of them is the Broncos, Texans, and the Colts.
Okay.
The Broncos?
Broncos, Texans, Colts.
Colts are going to choke.
Yep.
100%.
Colts and the Broncos will start slipping.
The Texans, I'm not so sure on because they're looking kind of nice. But if I had to pick 2 teams to choke, I'm going to go Broncos and Colts.
What about the Browns?
Choke.
Okay, so then Bills get
quarterback.
in.
Choke.
Bills get in.
Yeah, Bills making in there.
They're 6-6. That game, they should have won that game, by the way, as well. Gabe Davis dropped a wide open touchdown.
Gabe Davis, yeah, he didn't know which way he was looking.
Too, James Cook did too.
Yeah, Kansas City should have won their first game of the season.
Whoa.
Kadarius Toney dropped 5 balls.
Well, no, it was literally in overtime. Gabe Davis was right here.
Marquez Valdez. No, you're all right. You were right.
You know,
it's just hard. I mean, They lost.
And they've lost a couple close games. Like, they're still there. They just haven't, these close games that they're in, they haven't pulled them off. Do you have any more? I have one more.
Let me hear yours.
Hold on, let me find it here real quick. Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles. They lose 2 of their next 3 games.
One is the 49ers.
Bills,
Cowboys. Then what?
And the Seahawks.
All home?
2 home.
I think they win 2 out of 3.
Oh, no, 2 on the road. I apologize.
Oh, which ones?
They play at Dallas and at Seattle. I think they lose at home to the 49ers. Bills should have beat them at home, like in Philly. I think they go in, they lose to the 49ers at home, and then I think they drop either the Cowboys or Seahawks. 2 road games back-to-back. Tough road games, too. I think they drop one of the 2.
I'm going to go win 2 out of 3.
They win 2 out of 3.
Oh, no.
Lose.
Yeah.
I think they lose 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing for the Detroit Lions.
How about it?
I think that's a good thing. Do you have any more? What else do you have?
No, that'll do.
All right.
The one I have it'll be a conversation starter that we may just have to turn into a segment or incorporate.
Do you get what this question is? At Booner Sports, draft bust as concerning stars.
Draft bust as. He's trying to say.
Something
was this on the Jack Campbell? Let's see. Scroll up.
I would like to know what that question is. Well, I'll answer that. If you resend that at 9:50 for a mailbag, we'll re-answer that. When we do come back, though, we're going to dive in Red Wings, some Tigers, and we're going to talk about this Pistons team that just lost, what was it, their 13th straight game?
Did they just lose?
I believe they've already lost.
Almost 20 points.
Yeah, and they lost to the worst team in the league. Well, they're the worst team in the league. They lost to the second worst team in the league by however many it was, 13th straight loss. But we're going to talk a little bit of Red Wings, 14. Talk a little bit of Tigers. They signed someone, and we're going to talk a little inside Detroit here. We're going to get into it. Let me tell you guys, though.
You want me to tell them about Feldman? Yeah, I'll tell them about Feldman real quick, because in 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. They got 18 dealerships, so there's definitely one in your backyard. Just check out FeldmanAuto.com, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. Booner, tell them about Guardian?
I'm going to tell you guys about a great defense. Guardian Alarm, baby. It is customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians, they take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. That is 24/7 professional monitoring. You can give them a call anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Make sure for that number and a great defense, call the number on the screen here. It is 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equip Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, dry-aged beef, Wagyu beef, all the beef you could ask for. You, too, could experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Just check out the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods where they got grab-and-go steaks, or order online at fairwaypacking.com. Yeah.
And And welcome back to Woodward Nights on the Woodward Sports Network. I heard the song in my ear for a second and it went away. But I was vibing to it and then it just cut off in my ear. So I wasn't able to hear it. I wish I could though, because it sounded great. Oh. Shout out JB for that. He's cooking right now. Hey, if you guys haven't yet, hit that like button. Let's get over 75 before the end of this next segment here. Inside of Detroit though, Broder. We'll go around the room a couple times on this as well, because we'll be talking some Red Wings, some Tigers. I'll probably let you take the Tigers talk a little bit because there has been some news. I want to talk about this with the Red Wings, though. They have been playing, extremely well the last few games. Let me pull it up here real quick. They've won 3 straight. New Jersey, the Devils, 4-0 win. I believe we were on air when that happened. At Boston, 5-2. We spoke about that was back-to-back. Boston's only lost 2 games in regulation. Yeah. Both to the Detroit Red Wings. I was in attendance on one.
I think someone else got them, if I'm not mistaken.
Recently.
Yeah, like in the last 2 or 3 days.
Ooh,
but
the Red Wings did that to them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they won last night versus Minnesota 4-1. This is the thing, and as well, I don't know if you heard these rumors, and if anyone in here has heard these rumors. Patrick Kane, though. He had his list of teams he wanted to go to. The Detroit Red Wings were on one. I got an alert on my phone today that said that things are actually heating up. Patrick Kane coming to the Detroit Red Wings, which that sets up to an insane, and to me, that means the Detroit Red Wings and Steve Yzerman, that Yzer plan, and D-Mac's been talking about it for years, and I've been all in on this. It's, hey, you have to give it time. You saw him do it in Tampa. You've seen kind of the build, and things are starting to all come together. This was that year kind of, and similar, we're going to talk Pistons next segment, but similar to what people I think are wanting Troy Weaver to do, which right now have a lot of issues with Troy Weaver and what's going on in that Pistons organization. But what Steve Yzerman has done is he had that young team. He went out and got the young guys, drafted, brought guys in. This year, what did he do? He went and got a ton of veterans. He brought in DeBrincat, and now he's looking to add a Patrick Kane to make this a legit, not just a playoff team, in my opinion, a team to where it's like, you saw the Florida Panthers last year as an 8 seed. A team to where you get in the playoffs, you can make some noise. Yeah. And that's where I'm starting to get this feeling from this Red Wings team. When they start winning through multiple games in a row, they start putting some things together. DeBrincat's been playing well. Lucas Raymond. I don't know if you've seen him the last few games.
He's starting to heat up.
He's been playing extremely well. Whether he's getting a goal or he's just out there making plays and being a playmaker. Dylan Larkin, like these guys, the Red Wings have some dudes, baby. Yeah. And that's what, I think this is why so many people get mad about the Pistons. Is they're almost in the same timeline as the Red Wings, maybe a year or 2 off. And we've been hearing about this talent. With the Red Wings, we've finally seen the Yzer plan come into place to where he had the talent. He got the young guys. Now he brought in dudes to be able to win with them. And at the next segment, when we talk about the Pistons, I think there's 2 opposite sides where they're going the different ways. Red Wings, Broder.
We can see the identity being built. Like, we can see it start to come out, actually. And
it's coming back from before.
Yes. Hockey town. They still have some moves to be made, whether that's Patrick Kane, whether there's more than that, or different moves. You got to figure out who is going to be your goalie if you're going to make a playoff run. But from where they stand now, they're doing everything we could ask them for at this phase in the rebuild, in the Yzer plan, and to see it come to fruition against some of the better teams in the league. You can see the future. You can see them being a winning team in this league. To see how Larkin and DeBrincat are playing well together. Gostisbehere, he's having a hell of a year. But you're right, Lucas Raymond's getting confident. They brought in these veterans to sort of solidify their identity. And I think Patrick Kane, I know he's coming off a serious injury, and whether he's the Patrick Kane of old or he loses a step, he's the type of piece that in a playoff run, if you're an 8 seed like the Panthers, he's that veteran piece in the locker room and on the ice, even at a lower contribution level, that almost counts as 2 people. He's one who's been there before. He's been a star. He's okay with being a role player. Like that I don't know anything about the financials involved, what he's looking for years, but it seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think just being able to add a guy like that, the experience. Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. It's similar to just any sport, like whether you're in the NFL, NBA, baseball. Like when you can just add a piece like that, especially when you're trying to make a run and make a jump, and it's like, yeah, and then I get it. I saw some people in the chat that it's kind of like, I don't know if I want. it's still like a piece to where it's like he's not going to be the old Patrick Kane.
No.
Like, we know that. It's like getting like a guy like, LeBron's a bad example because he's still great, but it's just like getting an all-time player at their kind of end where they can bring the experience, and they might be like, I think the away fan said it, maybe he could be a second-line guy, and he can be an elite second-line guy. For you, and he can bring something to that team, and that's all to me, Broder. That's all you want to see. You just want to see them make that move, bring guys in to make you a contender. That's what I think Heisman's been doing it.
Was Brett Hall too much of a star when they brought him way back in the day? Like he was a star on the Blues. I can't remember if it was at the tail end because he had some really good years with Detroit. But Brett Hall, just a fan says Chelios. You're right. Different pieces. Need those pieces. Maybe the Rasheed Wallace type.
You know? Every championship team needs pieces like that.
Yeah.
And I get it's weird, and it's like
Brett Hall was
he's not going to be his old self, but he like from his experience and his skill set, what he has, even if it's like an elite second line guy.
They don't need an elite first line guy, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what you need, though. Yeah. Like that's a big piece for a team that you need to win. So yeah, I love that move. I want to real quick before we go to break. Though, can we just go to the Tigers here? I'm going to let you take this one.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was speaking with my cousin about this as well. They did sign a big-time pitcher, and I think it sets up, not just for him, but I think it sets up for a lot of these Japanese pitchers that are coming over. There's 2 big-time ones, and I've already gotten alerts, and I've seen 2 tweets already about both of them having interest in the Tigers, and my guess it's because of this guy signing with the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, there are 2 of them.
That's my guess.
There are 2 of them, and I am going to read off their names. The big name is Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yep.
And then they could also get 2 lefties, left-handed pitcher Shota Imanaga and left-handed pitcher Yuki Matsui. Mm-hmm. All 3 of them have said they don't have a preference, of like a location preference, but they want to play with other Japanese players, or at least one other one. They want to feel they want that comfort with whatever team they go to. So the Tigers going and signing Kenta Maeda, a veteran. He's been in the league, I think, 7 years, but he's 35, 36 years old. He's a veteran who pitched really well for the Twins down the stretch and can come and be a mentor, a 3rd or 4th guy in your rotation, a mentor to Skubal, Manning, Mize, Reese Olson, and Matt Manning. Did I say Manning? So he fills a rotation spot, a little lower in your rotation, as well as the mentorship spot. But the real key, let's just be real, the real key is setting themselves up to be able to go after some of these Japanese players, which the Tigers historically have not done or not been good at. They really don't have the infrastructure set up, but they're going for it.
Scott Harris knows what he's doing.
He does.
And I think that move, to me, like we talk about GMs all the time, like and just own like leadership kind of within these sports organizations. I think that shows right there that they know what they're doing. This is a new, like they know what they're setting. If they have a chance at getting one of these greats, that could be a great, and they're taking that shot. Yeah. Whether they get them or not, you still are adding depth to your rotation.
Yeah.
And if you don't get them, okay, you don't get them. But if you do get a guy like that, 1 or 2 of those guys, that sets you up for the future. So that's I think that's a huge move from the Tigers.
Mike G said there's a Benihana in Northville. Bring the Japanese ball players home. Bring them home.
Bring them home, baby.
Bring them home.
Go Tigers. All right. We gotta get, when we come back, we do. I saw a lot of people too in the chat. Like, do we have to talk Pistons? Why do we have to talk them?
Yes.
No. You know what it is? It's they were suspended from our show last week, and they've lost 13 straight games. They are off their suspension on our show, and we just have to air these grievances with them because right now it is time to talk about Troy Weaver. It's time to talk about Tom Gores. It's time to talk about some of these players. It's time to have a real conversation. We're only gonna have a short conversation about it, but we're gonna have a conversation about these guys. So. Broder, tell us about Mark White. We'll come back. We'll lock in on the Pistons real quick. Yeah, trust me.
Detroit sports. When buying or selling real estate, flexibility, control over the sales process is key. With Mark White and Associates minute by minute listing agreement, you can do just that. So visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel. And
At work and at home. We're
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Just in time for football, Glorious Cannabis is dropping a brand new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good, it's like the whip of the first playoff win in 31 years. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in honor of our Detroit football team. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are definitely missing out. It is so smooth. You can find them at a Dispo dispensary near you or check them out online today at gloriouscanna.com.
All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys locking in here. Monday night. I know there's Monday Night Football going on. Ugly game.
There's no game going on.
It's an ugly game. Usually our numbers are down on Mondays, and they are a little bit here today, but it's weird that this game is so bad. 3-3 to start the second half. That is embarrassing. All right, let's just talk about it real quick. For you. Don't know how long we need to spend on it. I guess we have 5-6 minutes. The Detroit Pistons, though, this is a bad situation. 13th straight loss. Today was basically the battle of the toilet bowl in the NBA. Wizards, they were going into the game 2-14. Pistons 2-14. It just an all around ugly game. You would think the Pistons would compete in a game like this, especially going through what they've been going through, and they go in there and they lose by 20 points. And Broder, I don't know where you're at, JB, Jalen. I don't know where people are at. I personally, when I go on ESPN and I see 13 straight L's, I don't care. There's a point to me, Broder, to where I keep hearing this saying, oh, trust in Troy Weaver, trust in Monty, trust in this, trust in that, trust in this. There is a breaking point for fans. There's like, yes, maybe you want the number one pick. Yes, maybe you want a chance at a top 3 pick. I get that. I don't care like if it's the Victor draft, what draft it is. Yes, I understand if you're one of the worst teams in the league, you want a bad pick. But there's a point to where you want to see your team compete. I don't care if you're winning or losing. You want to see a team compete. When you're going out there versus the worst team in the NBA with you and you lose by 20 points, something's got to be done. I don't know if Tom Gores needs to step up. Someone needs to step up and say, hey, this person's out. Troy Weaver, gone. I don't know what it is. Monty just got there, so I'm not going to go at Monty because he came into a position with these players. But maybe Troy just hasn't brought the right players in. Having a guy like Killian Hayes.
He hasn't. The team's not constructed.
I just don't know. Like I don't get it. I truly I'm like baffled that I just don't know if they like Troy just hasn't like yes he's and I keep hearing this as well and JB I'll come to you next. I keep hearing this. Oh he got the cap cleared out. Oh he did some of these things. But at the same time, you kept hearing, yes, he's brought talent in to go win basketball games, to go out there and compete with teams. And the talent's been here a few years now. And they just haven't done, no one's competed. No one's competed.
There's no identity.
This is year 4, year 5. There's no identity. And I don't want to say, oh, Monty, like, that's why I'm in the middle here with Monty. It's like, man, like, you came in a bad situation. But, I mean, what is happening? 13 straight losses, to me, is unacceptable, uncalled for. Someone has to be held accountable. I don't know who it is, but at some point, someone has to get held accountable. Because how many games are you going to have to lose for the foot to be put down? Tom Gores, challenge you. Someone has to be held accountable. Ridiculous. JB?
I don't know where to begin with this team. I do not have any of the answers of how to fix this at all. The box score honestly tells you for the most part. Cade is out there. He's doing his thing. Ivy is also out there as well, too. He was in the starting rotation today.
Nice.
Duran, he's definitely stepping up. Sword Thompson, you can't ask for much more. Just, Booner, as you said, just looking at the schedule and just seeing L after L after L. At a certain point, the fans are tired of seeing it, and right now, hell, just tank the rest of the season. Because I don't know what you can sit here and say or do to change this team. You need to bring in fresh talent. I know we don't want to do that. I know it's hard trying to, like, get rid of these players or trying to trade them all to another team, but you need someone to come over here to just revamp this Detroit Pistons team because honestly, it's just going to continue being L's after L's after L's. Like right now, I'm assuming we have the number 1 draft pick as it is. Which, what are we going to do with that now? Who are we going to pick to waste away another season of Detroit Pistons basketball? You need to fix this now. I don't know where it starts with, but
there's even too many L's.
Do something.
There's even too many L's than Snoop Dogg. Too much for him.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
It's just, I'm just flabbergasted. Is the word I would say, Jalen.
We're all just frustrated at this point.
Yeah.
We stink. Troy Weaver, I was a big fan of him for like 2 hours when he drafted Jalen Duren. I was a big fan of him for like 2 hours max, maybe 3 hours max. I never knew what his plan was here. I think he's a big, draft guy, which is fine as a GM, but he doesn't want to spend any money. I think we need to spend money to get a better team here because we have all these prospects and young guys and things like that. Outside of Cade Cunningham and Doran Nassar, who is going to be here next 5 years that you can tell me right now?
I think probably none.
Nobody, right? We missed out on trading for Bojan this summer. We didn't trade for Jaylen Brown. We didn't trade for anybody. I don't think this team knows what they want. I feel like we're just here, watching the simulation, to be honest, because I think Troy doesn't want to spend any money. And you can't be a GM and, only draft. This draft next summer or next spring is trash. If you know ball, you know it's not a good one. Maybe next year, okay, last year was a good draft, but this year stinks. So we get the first pick. Who do we pick? I don't know. Isaiah Collier out of USC. He's like a 4 or 3. Like, he's not going to help.
Not a difference maker? Yeah, they're no difference makers.
He's great. Don't get it twisted, but I'm not sold on that. Trade the pick, do something, but you have to trade. Bojan has to go somewhere. He's our biggest asset. I think Ivy is a good trade asset too, but outside of like Asar, Dorn, and Cade, nobody is like safe. And Monty Williams, I don't blame him yet because he hasn't been here long enough.
Coach needs at least a year, especially in this situation.
But I will criticize him for benching Jaden Ivey for Killian Hayes. I never understood that. Like, defense was good, but Cade and Ivy play much better together.
And I want to say this too. And Jalen, you can correct me if I'm wrong though, but like a situation like last year, the situation some of these young guys were in, it was such a bad. Like obviously with Cade hurt, but like a guy like Jaden Ivey having to be the number 1 option as a rookie, like you don't want these players like Killian having to play what he did last. You don't want these players to have to do that. So when you come in like a Monty and comes in, and some of these young guys are expected to be like, hey, I'm the man, I'm the star of this team, and it's like, hey, like. For being honest, like on a real team to compete, maybe you're not. And I'm not saying the benching thing was right, but it's just like maybe like we got to figure this thing out. And Monty, I feel like has come in and it's like I need to change this culture somehow. Doesn't know like in what he has in his hands. How hard is it? Like you have to look at Troy and be like, dude, you have to get me somebody, some veterans, get me someone in this building right now that can help us build a real culture and get back to where we were in 04.
We have the cap space next year though.
They do, and that's the thing.
That's what I worry about.
We have the cap space, but it's just like this is it for Troy. This is his last offseason. If he fails this one, it's over. And also for Monty, stop playing 12 guys. Get your 8 or 9 guys and just play them. He's trying to experiment stuff like that. With injuries, give or take, but this is my last go for Troy.
This is the thing too.
If we F up this offseason, he has to go.
Before we go to mailbag, I had this conversation with Kool-Aid in that room right over there. Right over there, the conference room. I had a little conversation with him about a week or two ago, and I think that to be honest, and Jalen, what you said, that he mentioned the whole money situation. That Troy Weaver, this is the last offseason he has to go out and get someone. I don't even know if Troy makes it through the season. I don't know who 13-game losing streak, Broder. How many games in a row do you have to lose for the owner of the team to say enough is enough? Some sort of culture change has to happen. Yeah. Imagine if 13 games in the NBA. Imagine if Dan Campbell went and lost like 17 straight games.
He was close.
18, 20 straight games. 13 games in the NFL is probably like 20 games, right? What if he lost 20 straight games? Someone's getting fired. Am I wrong? I am shook that nothing has been done. This has been 4 years. And all we keep hearing is, oh, just wait. I don't know if Troy will make it, but if he doesn't do anything this offseason, like Jalen said, done.
Basically, he needs to know that Detroit Pistons fans aren't as patient as Oklahoma City Thunder fans. Like, I worry about Troy Weaver. I don't worry about Troy Weaver, I think, as much as most, but I worry about his timeline. You remember what he was doing in Oklahoma City? It never felt like they were making any strides. They were just gathering draft picks, gathering assets until he made the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander trade.
Yeah.
And then the clock started, and it was like 2 years after that it all started to work. So I worry about the direction of the team. I'm with them for the entire year, and I got to see what they do this offseason, but there's not much more. We need a winning basketball team in Detroit. We need it.
Yeah, I just say I don't know if it's Troy. I don't know Troy. I don't know who it is. I don't think it's Monty because Monty just came in. Something just has to happen though, and you lose 13 straight. There's something wrong. It's not. Yes, it's a player problem. There's a culture problem at some point. Cade came out and said it a week ago. That should have been the first red flag. Now you've lost 13 straight. Something has to change. I don't know what it is, but the owner is someone who should know what to do and make that move. But something has to change.
Yeah.
All right,
JB, you got to tell them about Planet Fitness.
Oh, do I?
Or do you want
to?
No,
we got it. Let's do Woodward and Maine. We'll go to break here, and we'll come out with outdoor. But let me tell you guys about Woodward and Maine. Spoke about it earlier in the show here. It is this Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. Make sure you guys tune in, and Tuesday from 7 to 8 a.m. for all the insider information you need for the Detroit Lions. It is Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, Detroit legend Terry Foster. Make sure you guys tune in to Woodward, Maine, 8 a.m. on Saturday or Sunday.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
All right, let's talk about it. It is Outdoor Equipment Company, baby. It is the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports Network. It is Michigan-grown, family-owned, bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, and even weed whippers. They have it all. Liberty trailers, Generac generators, snow X-Plows, and salters. I think I have the hiccups right now. Outdoor Equipment Co. has it all. You can buy it. You can rent it. 0% financing, delivery right to your doorstep. That is at OutdoorEquipCo.com. All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Oh, I hear the music now. Couldn't hear the music for a second. Now I don't hear it again.
Right.
Appreciate you guys locking in with us here. We'll do mailbag for a little bit here. We'll do a couple minutes of mailbag before we head out for the night. Make sure if you guys haven't yet, hit that like button. Let's get over 90 here. Can we get 90 likes here before the end of the show? Start dropping those mailbag questions in if you guys can. Broder, do you see any here?
Yes, Freddie fell through on 3. Mailbag. Can't wait to watch the commish, a.k.a. Tony Petitti, hand Harbaugh the trophy in Indy. But the question is, who makes it into the college football playoff besides Michigan, with the assumption Michigan beats Iowa and makes it in? Give me your other 3.
Do you want me to get the other 3? Michigan. Yeah. I'm going to go Oregon. I think Oregon beats Washington, which, crazy. Oregon's a 9-point favorite over Washington. I don't know if you guys saw that. That is crazy for a championship game with 2 top 10 teams, a 9-point favorite. So I'm going to go Oregon. I am going to go Georgia. I think Georgia beats Alabama. And then I'm going to go Texas. I think Texas wins the Big 12. And I think they have to look at Florida State or Texas. And I think without the quarterback, I don't know. We're going to find out in the rankings tomorrow. Maybe they will have. I could be wrong about this Florida State stuff.
I know you got something up your sleeve, Jalen. Who do you think is going to be the other three?
Well,
and not Coach Prime.
Well, he's at home right now. Okay, here we go. Michigan is number 1, obviously. Bama's going to kick Georgia's ass.
Whoa!
Wow. So do they sneak in?
100%. Well, see now.
So 2 SEC schools.
The only issue is they lost to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's the committee's job. So I'm gonna go with Bama, but they may put Texas in there. But Bama, Michigan, Oregon's gonna beat the shit out of Washington.
Yep.
Right.
And they're gonna get in.
Yeah. And then maybe Texas. Maybe Bama, Texas, Oregon.
You think Georgia drops out if they lose though? That's the issue.
I think so.
I think they'd go 2 SEC
because they haven't had a dominant season how they usually do. They had some good wins, but I think I'm going to go Michigan, Bama, Oregon, and Texas. And I'm going to have FSU undefeated looking out.
Same here.
Or looking in from the outside. Yeah, and then I'll have Washington and everybody else, but that's my 4.
Love it.
JB, you got a 4? You have 1?
I'm still keeping Georgia at number 1. Michigan right there at number 2. Oregon slides into that 3rd spot, and believe it or not, Texas makes 4.
I thought you were going to say Ohio State.
No, not Ohio State, but Texas slides into that 4th spot.
I love it. I think a lot of Ohio State fans are hoping Texas loses. They're rooting against Texas this week.
I think they're going to, and I think it's going to be Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and Ohio State.
Wow. I remember that last year we did when they did the I think Saturday night actually they do it.
Saturday night.
I believe after all the last game, the Big Ten's the last game. I believe maybe Saturday they release all of the rankings after the Michigan game. I remember last year, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Sunday, the pregame show for the Lions last year. I was up here with Adam and Jeff, and they released it, and we were shocked Ohio State made it in. Like, we were like, oh my gosh.
Michigan is actually not the last game on Saturday, so you still got Louisville and Florida State. They both play at the same time at 8 o'clock. So
Louisville wins that
even
game.
Even if Florida State wins because of Jordan Travis, they're not going to put him in.
No, I agree. If they do, that's a disservice to the fans, because you want to see the best teams play. And they just won't be one without their quarterback.
The away fan mailbag. If the wing sign came, personally don't want him to. I hold grudges. Would Daniel Sprong be, no, not me. That's
okay.
I'm reading this quoted the away fan, but Chicago Blackhawks rival. Would Daniel Sprong be asked to give up number 88? Or if you want to take it this way, would you give it up if you were Sprong? Also, much love as always, gang. Great job, Booth.
Yes, sir.
Respect. Appreciate that.
Word.
Yeah.
JB.
I would give it up. To a legend,
man.
If I'm a young guy and there's a legend coming to a team,
you have to.
I'd give it up.
I agree. A legend, you give it up.
And the legend should be giving him a couple bucks. Nothing crazy, but maybe give him a watch or something.
I'm sure he would pay him something.
Yeah.
He would give him a couple gifts.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right.
All right, I think that's it for the mailbag there. Right, is that all?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Just wanted to make sure I didn't want to miss any questions. Appreciate you guys all locking in here, though, with us on a beautiful Monday night. A great football game going on as we speak. Bears 6.
Nope, don't
the
say
Vikings
that.
3.
Don't even say that.
9 points in the game, 3 field goals. What a game you get to see there tonight on a Monday Night Football. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in with us. We will be back tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in. Morning Woodward Show at 8 a.m. with JB. Big D Energy to follow. E&E after that. The heavyweights, and then we will be back 8 to 10 p.m. tomorrow.
Buenas
Appreciate
noches.
you guys, and we will see you tomorrow. Love you guys.